Had a viewer, Rage Storms. He sent me a comment on one of my videos, and he or she, I'm assuming it's a he, I'm not sure, but anyway, I'll just say they wanted to know. Now they wasn't born. They've been watching my. Now don't worry, I'm not going into detail here. They've been watching my videos from April 3rd, 1974, but they said they wasn't born in, so they can't. They don't remember it. They wouldn't alive yet. They wasn't born. So they was asking me for a story if I remember the tornado outbreak. I think it's May. It was in May. If I remember the tornado outbreak of May 31st, 1985. It hit eastern Ohio. Yeah, I remember it, but it didn't affect me because I was here in Southwest Ohio in 1985, 33 years ago. Seen it on the world news, yes. But when you don't visually see something, you see it on the news, but I'm talking about in person, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you like in the real world. April 3rd, 1974 was the real world. I seen that. I witnessed those pitch black skies. I seen that in person. That was 74. But May 31st, I'm hoping I'm getting that month right. Anyway, May 31st, 1985, that didn't affect us here in Southwest. So in person, there was nothing. We may have got some rain from it, but that was all eastern Ohio. So that didn't affect, it wasn't as bad as 74, but that didn't affect us here. We probably got a little rain or lightning from it. But that's why I can't tell you much. The only story I got with that, I seen it on the world news. Now you got to remember, 1985, I only had 4 channels on TV. I had a weather radio alert. Yes, I had a weather radio alert. 4 channels. Yeah. There was no VCR, nothing. Had no cable. Yeah, I mean, the 80s was a good decade, but as far as the information, I was a ham radio operator, yes. But let's stick with the internet world for a moment. There was nothing. Now, to you guys today in 2018, you hear me say that, you say, well, my God, how did you stand it? That old saying, quote, you cannot miss what you never had, unquote. We didn't sit around in 1985 and, man, I wish we had the internet. I wish this. I wish we had smartphones. I wish we had Twitter. I wish we had Facebook. It just didn't exist. It did not exist. So you didn't think nothing of it. You just lived. The 80s was a peaceful decade. You just lived it. I mean, people, I get this asked to me all the time. Greg, why are you such a computer? Why do you stay on computers all the time? I get that. Why? It blows our minds. Why do you stay on computers all the time? My top answers is educational. It makes me smarter. I'm a computer junkie because I once lived in a time where there was no technology. There was nothing. It's like giving a baby candy. Once they taste the goodness of sweet sugar, they're addicted for life. I didn't have sweet sugar back in the 80s or 70s or even early 90s. But once I got a taste of the internet world, 1998, computer world, online world, internet, however you want to say it, Oh, it's the most addictive thing in the world. When you've lived a life where there was nothing, 4 channels on TV, 4 channels, and now I got the power of search engines at my it's just addictive. And 8 to 9 times out of 10, the ones asking me that question, of course, was babies. For example, 1985, they were just babies. They don't understand. They've grown up in a computerized world. So they don't know. They don't understand what it's like to have nothing. Where I do. I was born 1963. I started watching TV around 1970. There was no technology in the 70s. Got a little better in the 80s. It was still nothing. And I really didn't get into technology till so I've spent, okay, what would that make it? Hold on. Give me a moment here. Be 37. 30. It took me 35 years from the day I was born, from 1963 to 1990, that's 30, is that 35 years? 35? It took me, am I right? 35? Yeah. It took me 35 years to get the taste of technology, to get me addicted. Once I've seen the power of the internet world, I'm hooked. Once you get the taste of that sugar, there ain't no going back. You got to understand that. I lived when there was nothing. Decades of nothing. And now I'm the biggest computer junkie I'm the biggest computer junkie that has ever lived. I don't think anybody could beat me. I could get into a time race. If I had home broadband Wi-Fi, except being with my girlfriend, going shopping, eating, drinking, going to the restroom, if you get my drift, you got to take a shower. Besides all of that, you would catch me on my radio. I'm a ham radio operator, and you'd catch me on the computer. Basically, got myself locked into my room. That's what happens. That's what happens when you grow up with nothing. I sound like Rockefeller. Then, when you get all the power in the world at your fingertips, it does amazing things to the brain.